Discussing the emerging scandal around the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, or WPATH, no relation to psychopath, although it should be, who have helped shape NHS policies for more than a decade. The Mail Online revealed this week that standards of care documents produced by the WPATH have been used as a basis for guidance to medical practitioners across the NHS. This guidance led to, for example, 96% of children sent for assessment to endocrinology clinics being given puberty blockers. These puberty blockers can have horrific side effects, including osteoporosis and infertility, and prescription of puberty blockers usually sets the kid on a pathway leading to fully transitioning. When concerned, healthcare professionals say that puberty usually resolves any feelings of being trapped in the wrong body, so you don't need to pump kids full of drugs. Shockingly, leaked video from a meeting of WPATH trans health workers revealed that they themselves don't believe the adolescents they're treating understand the consequences of their treatment, and crucially, a doctor says the kids aren't able to give informed consent about their treatment.
It's out of their developmental range sometimes to understand the extent to which some of these medical interventions are impacting them.
We do it. We try to talk about it, but most of the kids are nowhere in any kind of a brain space to really talk about it in a serious way. That's always bothered me, but we still want the kids to be happier in the moment, right?
Other leaks reveal that WPATH doctors admit to experimental treatments, despite outwardly saying the WPATH is an evidence-based institution. I mean, Diane, were you shocked by these revelations?
I'm deeply alarmed because this WPATH, the World Professional Association of Trans Health, it sounds professional, does it? But it's actually a group of people, they pay to be members, and what was leaked, these files, came from a message board. And this group has been responsible for giving advice to other medical professionals and to clinics, and producing guidelines on how they should treat children that are questioning their gender identity. And what is really alarming about this is that these people have admitted in private, oh, we're probably making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
How dare you admit that in private and not admit that publicly, because these are people's lives that are being irreparably changed by their actions. And a lot of these people have got connections, they're on the chair of WPATH, and then they're also on the chair of like a medical board in a hospital.
So there's a financial incentive for them to be encouraging more transitions to happen, because they're making money from them.
Yes.
I mean, Quincy, the thing that worries me, we're going to see a deluge of claims from people who feel that they've detransitioned and feel that they were sort of missold, not their PPI, but their transition. I mean, as a taxpayer, I didn't want to pay for the transition in the first place, and now I'm going to have to pay for them to detransition and have to pay for claims. I think I'm the real victim here.
I think that, personally, this is what I'm going to say. Yeah? Let me just take a sip. This.
There was also they did.
I was going to.
Oh, okay.
This is a dramatic pause.
Yeah, I was just going to say, look, the fact that it was leaked and they kept it in house.
Yeah.
I don't condone snitching. But in this case, all power to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's about kids potentially being damaged. It's horrific stuff. And there's no sign of companies cutting back on advertising with trans influencers, even though it sometimes backfires, as it did with Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney. This week, Doritos, the corn crisps, have sacked trans influencer Samantha Hudson after it was revealed that Samantha had written social media posts threatening to do thuggish things to a 12-year-old girl. Other old posts by Samantha, born Ivan Gonzalez Renedo, read, "In the middle of the street in Mallorca in panties and screaming that I'm a nymphomaniac in front of a super beautiful 8-year-old girl. Not the sort of thing you want your mascot to be shouting." And another declared, "I hate women who are victims of sexual assault and go to self-help centres to overcome their trauma. Annoying," I can't say this word, but it rhymes with klutz. Samantha Hudson said they were sorry for the tweets, which were described as pure provocation and in very bad taste. Well, that's all right then. That's fine. I mean, like literally sort of.
That's what you want with a chip brand, isn't it? Bad taste. when you're advertising food.
Yeah, the chips are certainly down. The reality is this, that everything you've ever said to anybody ever is going to come out. And work on that sort of principle. It was an appalling judgment. And a lot of people, when they're talking about damage limitation, if somebody takes you on as an agency or whatever, they say, look, tell us all the skeletons in the cupboard so we can deal with that. The brand are quite right to call it out. What was said there is despicable, and it's quite right.
Don't you think the brand should have done just like... I mean, everybody's got access to Google. Just Google and have a little search on their social media to see if they've said anything revealing themselves to be a massive paedophile before you hire them, surely.
Well, what's interesting there is they're hiring people based already on their social media traction. So if you're hiring someone on their social media traction, like not their talent, not their audition, nothing like that, then how come it wasn't spotted?
Well, maybe Satanists do run the world and the conspiracy theories are right. And the Channel 4 soap Hollyoaks hit the headlines this week for pushing the idea that it's absolutely, totally, completely normal for a male stranger in a dress to talk to your child without your knowledge. Take a look at this.
I'm a boy, but my body's all wrong, and how am I supposed to tell my parents?
I'll help you in whatever way I can. But you need to know that your life is in your hands.
I mean, this goes against everything I was taught as a kid. We're told to, stranger danger and all the rest of it. I feel like they're trying to sort of normalise the idea of, a trans woman coming in and talking to your kid behind your back.
I mean, I don't know the actual specifics of that storyline. I mean, soap operas have always been known.
Neither do I, but I made up. I filled it in with my imagination.
Never let the truth stand in the way of a good story. I know.
You do know there will be a character arc. There will be a whole soap operas have got a history of sort of tackling social issues. So I'm not actually surprised that Hollyoaks have brought this in, because as soon as something kind of is trending on X or whatever, they'll bring a storyline out about it and they'll explore it that way. Although I must admit, the way that was filmed was maybe talk to the DOP, because that was quite scary lighting.
I was just happy that my friend Richard Blackwood wasn't in that scene, because he's in Hollyoaks.
There you go.
Because I think there would have been some ad-libbing in that scene.
But this is, we've seen Hollyoaks, well, not Hollyoaks, it was Brookside, the first lesbian kiss in a soap opera, although not the first one I'd seen, thanks to a taxi driver who sold my dad a VHS. But we're seeing people, pushing sort of social progress. But I feel like this is a part of the progress maybe we should have a warning about the potential downside, especially after what we've seen.
Well, I think there's a difference between showing a lesbian kiss or gay couples in soap operas, because it's supposed to reflect reality. So we're not shielding people from that. If you're pushing it down the other way, so it basically becomes the other extreme, that's got to be wrong. And we always talk about respect, but it's respect for everybody in the conversation. And what people are not going to try and do is look, why am I not doing this or why am we doing that? People get taken to pantomime where people dress up in outfits, and people object to the people dressing up in to tell story time, drag story time and so on and so forth.
Pantomime, they're like 20 feet away from the kids and they're acting on a stage. They're not they don't have the kid on their knee.
That was scary.
What did the wolf do? You know what I mean? It's like, why do you want to read stories to kids? Why don't you go into old folks' home? I'm sure old folks would love to have their day brightened by somebody in drag coming in and reading.
You're absolutely right. And this is what we need to look at. It's all about context, and it's all about that sort of side. But you're right. Respect. Let's recognise the diverse, glorious society that we have, but let's not shove it down their throats.
No pun intended.
I tried to fist up you. I set you up.
Or any other orifice.